Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Wingman Wisdom. Got a question for you. What is your RV actually worth today? Is it worth what you paid for it less some formula, that you can plug in, a depreciation formula? Is it worth whatever your payoff is on the RV? Or is there something else going on? Because at the end of the day, whether you're selling your RV or you're buying a used RV, the real value that very day is really all that matters, at least in my opinion. In this video, we're going to find out how one of the most respected RV dealers in the nation goes about determining value. His name is Kevin Frazer. Let's do a little follow-up on that video series that we did about used RV values if we can. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to expand upon, or maybe, say it again, clarify, or?
Well, I've been getting calls and emails asking me about a couple of things. First of all, how do you trust the eBay sellers? Well, and for that matter, people that are selling online.
Okay.
Now, with eBay sellers, you've got two basic categories. You've got the private sellers, the individuals that are selling the RV that they own, and they shouldn't be dismissed, but they don't have reviews. If you're dealing with a dealer, you're going to go mostly by the reviews. Reviews on eBay cannot be challenged. They are sacrosanct. You can't leave a review on eBay unless you got a transaction number that's completed. And so there's no bots, there's no trolls. But if you've got a private seller that is marketing their RV using the eBay, which I recommend to people all the time, then you have to rely upon a little bit of research that you as the informed buyer must conduct. First of all, you should talk to the people on the phone, not just text, talk.
Right.
Now, this applies to all animals. All animals deceive. The more complex the animal, the more complex the deception. If squirrels and fish are easily fooled, those species of squirrels and fish go extinct. Humans have evolved the ability to detect deception. It's about 85% effective. When you were asking all those questions of the J.D. Power Associate about how they arrived at their values, right, did your heart and head conclude that you were being shined on?
Of course it did.
If it hadn't, you'd be extinct. The same thing's going to happen when you talk to the seller of an RV and you ask them questions just as one person to another. What about that? I mean, the guys own the RV, maybe since it was new.
Right.
You're going to get all the true poop. And if your head or your heart says something's wrong, just don't bid on it. But then I've heard about some nastiness after the sale that could be resolved if you took a little time. There, especially during the pandemic, there was a string of people conducting arbitrage where they would buy RVs from dealers at a cheap price and then go to mostly Western states, think Connecticut and California, and sell them as private sellers, selling them used at a big, big markup. They weren't titling the goods in that state. They had picked them up at a dealer, received the original certificate of origin, also known as manufacturer statement of origin, like the original title.
Right.
But that cannot be transferred. You can't make that another owner on that. That has to be made into a state title that can then be transferred.
So each time the unit is sold, it has to be registered and titled.
Right.
Each time.
And the first time is critical. From a manufacturer statement to a state title. So for your listeners, if they're buying one privately on an auction site, online, ask the seller for not just the VIN, the vehicle identification number, but the title number. And then go to that state's DMV and do your research. Find out if that vehicle belongs to, is titled to the person that is proposing to sell it to you. And it'll also tell you if there's a lien on it. These things have to be addressed before you can get a clear title to an RV that's being sold to you by a private seller.
So that's one of those things you never, ever send money to somebody. You always need to speak. If you can look them in the eye, that's what I suggest. But, speaking with them.
I have a real bad problem with doing it remotely. I'll send somebody to pick it up and send you the money. No, you should go. When the transaction is consummated, you should be there, inspect the goods, accept the goods, inspect the title, transfer the title as you hand over the funds, the money. It doesn't really matter. Pay in whatever form that the seller requests. But those guys that were operators, the ones that were selling almost brand new stuff in California, Connecticut, and other places that were engaged in arbitrage last year and the year before, they always insisted on cash, currency. I mean, that's kind of suspicious by itself. You should be expected to pay with a cashier's check. Some untrusting souls might insist that you bring them a certified check, the one with the holes punched in it. That's okay. It's just an extra hassle for the buyer. Now, once you've established a rapport with the seller, and you can work out side deals that aren't necessarily part of the eBay arrangement, the eBay protocols, he might say to you, well, under eBay, you got to be there within 7 days to get it. That's the rule, so okay. But he might say, we can arrange this for 30 days, especially if there's weather involved in winter or something. Now, when you're buying from a dealer, the reviews are critical. If the reviews are solid, you're home for the holidays.
Kevin, I'm going to jump in here and say something about that. I went literally, before we spoke today, I went to eBay and I looked, and there weren't a lot, but there were a couple of dealers that were there, and I didn't see, there's no reviews that are like an 80%. They're either 100% positive like yours, I don't know, 1,300, or you've got by far the most amount of positive reviews, 100% satisfaction reviews than anybody else, or they've sold 1,000 RVs and not one review, a zero.
Well,
am I looking wrong? Because the ones
no, it's more deception. There are dealers that offer on eBay RV brochures for the price of $1.
Yeah.
And when they send that $1 brochure out, it's posted as an RV sale.
What?
Yeah. It's a way of gaming the system, and eBay should clean that up. It should either be an RV sale or not. But there's a way for your viewers to get right around that right away. Instead of just seeing the number and the rating, you're allowed to enter the reviews and read them in chronological order. If you see 4 or 5 or 6 of that, no reviews means they're doing this literature scam.
Right.
But if you go through 5 or 6 or 7 of them, and it's just a nothing, like the review was written by their aunt from Toledo, yeah, you ditch them too.
You know, while eBay is probably the most reliable, the most honest place to find the actual value of used RVs, I gotta admit, for many people who are afraid of being scammed, an RV on eBay might be a little bit scary. My suggestion, heed the advice of Kevin Frazer. Nobody is smarter when it comes to doing business on eBay, and he is super, super honest. If you have a question that you'd like to ask Kevin, you'd like me to ask on your behalf, or a topic that you would like to hear us talk about, please drop it in the comments below, and I promise to put it on the list, see if I can rope him in next time, and we'll get it asked. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you next time.